Welcome to this week's episode of Beyond the Lights with Dr. Tim Moore. This week we will be discussing sports participation with social classes. We don't claim to be experts. We're just trying to give you a college student's perspective and graduate student's perspective on the different issues dealing with sports and sports sociology. So sit back and enjoy, and welcome to Beyond the Lights.
Today we'll be talking about social class in sport. My name is Kai Jagusi. I'm from Woodbridge, Virginia. I got my undergrad from Hampton University in kinesiology, and I played on the softball team. So I'm gonna let my teams introduce themselves.
I'm Quasin Townsend. I'm from Atlantic City, New Jersey. I got my undergrad from Villanova University, and now I'm a grad student at Hampton University on the football team.
My name is Mubarak A. Malikul from Chicago, Illinois, first-year grad student.
I'm Raphael Reynolds. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. I got my undergrad at Muskingum University, and I was a former running back coach.
All right. Okay, so for our first question, we're going to say, do you guys believe that certain sports are geared towards certain social classes, and then if so, which sports?
I would say to a certain extent, like, the higher class would probably be more likely to be involved in a sport like golf. So, I mean, if we being specific, that's the one that comes at the top of my head right now. A sport like golf, I feel like is more geared to the higher class.
I feel like football and basketball, it's geared towards, like, I feel like a lot of people in the low-income communities kind of drift towards basketball and football because it's cheaper. Like, it's cheaper to play. All you need is a ball. You know what I'm saying? You can be out there shooting on a crate. You can be out there shooting on. You know what I'm saying? So I do think that. Well, I don't think that it's specifically geared towards this, but I feel like a certain group of people always venture towards that specific sport because of how cheap it is.
And I agree with you. I know hockey costs. My little cousin play hockey, so I feel like sports like that, like you said, you gotta have some money for some of these sports because of the gear. So yeah, I kind of agree with you for sure.
Yeah, for me, I was thinking that like more of the individual sports like tennis or golf, like y'all said, like sports that take place at private clubs and stuff that aren't really necessarily open to the public are geared more towards like the upper class, upper middle class, and then you have those team sports that, like you said, take less gear, are more towards middle, working, and lower classes. All right, and so for our next question, we're going to say, do you guys believe that social class affects an individual's chances of success at their sport?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I feel like it makes it easier because, and like there's been athletes that just got out the mud, and they're successful today. But I do think that, or I know that for sure, that when you have children that come from like well-off families and stuff, it's easier because they're able to be put into like these different programs, and they've been sent to these facilities and stuff like that, like somewhere like IMG Academy. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people can't afford that. You know what I'm saying? To send their kid there. You know what I'm saying? Unless they come in and scoop them up on some scholarship situation or whatever. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? So yeah.
I agree with what he's saying. I feel as though like the greatest athletes have got it out the mud. I feel as though because like it's something that you get from like just getting to a certain point on your own and having to dig deep and find a way to be successful. But I definitely feel like there's an advantage to the kids that come from well-off family because like their parents could pay for certain training that somebody that doesn't have the same amount of money wouldn't be able to pay for. And they probably have a higher success rate also because their parents can pay for them to go to these different college camps and stuff like that because that costs money and it costs money to travel also. So, some of these kids get more exposure just because they come from a more well-off family rather than somebody that is waiting to be noticed just off doing like the bare minimum, just like playing their regular high school games and stuff like that.
I agree with both of y'all. I think when you do have like parents that got money and stuff like that, it kind of, because I know looking at the NBA, they got like Shaq's son, he didn't get drafted, and I feel like that. Like you said, like I don't feel like it's certain times you got to get it out the mud, like as you would say. But sometimes like stuff like that, you could say he had all the resources, but he didn't technically make it. So.
No, I definitely agree with you guys. I feel like when you have money, parents can pay for their kids to have like these elite trainers or like elite facilities. And I also think that they know, like, a lot of people when you have money, so maybe they can afford to put their kid in front of some people that would get them the exposure that they would need to be able to have success at their sport, definitely. Yeah. And so going into the next question, do you guys think that social class affects individuals' drive to continue to participate in their sport?
I'm about to say I feel like it got its pros and its cons. Cause I feel like it's all about how hungry you is. I feel like can't nobody make you want something. You gotta want it yourself. So that's kind of how I feel about like that question. So.
Like you always hear like motivational speakers or coaches talk about asking a player like, what's your why? So your why might be different if you don't come from a well-off family. Like say you're doing this because like that's in your mind, that's the only way you see of you making it out or making yourself successful. So like that would make somebody, like you said, more hungrier than somebody that probably could work with in his father's business or eventually take over his father's business or something like that. So I definitely do think it plays a part.
Yeah, like I mean, going off what you guys said, like I think it all just depends on like one, like how hungry you want it. You know what I'm saying? And of course, I mean, it makes it because I feel like I don't necessarily know everybody's financial situation, but the majority of people do kind of come from the low or like middle class type of situation where you may have to get out the mud, like I said before, and so you're gonna constantly have that drive going to what he said, like trying to find out your why, like why exactly do I want to keep doing this, rather than somebody who was like their parents know somebody or their parents paid for them to be in this situation. You know what I'm saying? And like you can tell the difference between somebody who really wanted and somebody who just kind of there. Like they have the skill, but they're just kind of there. Like you know what I'm saying? You can tell. Of course, like being from like Chicago or anywhere, like you kind of always have that drive to just want to get it. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it's me. Like I want to be that person. I want to be the best. So like when I step out on the field, on the court with anybody, like you know what I'm saying? Freely speaking, like I'm trying to kill you. I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, like that. Like I just feel like everybody kind of has that dog in them. You know what I'm saying? But I think for some people it's a lot more than others for sure.
For me, I think that when you don't necessarily come from money or a lot of money, that sports are able to provide you with things that you wouldn't be otherwise, like traveling or a college education, like most people in college do. I think that the drive is like you guys said, you want to get out the mud, and then it can provide you, if you go professional, put you in a better financial situation. I just think that when you do come from money and then like say something goes wrong in your sport, or like you feel like you're not the best in your sport, you don't necessarily, it's like, oh, I'm not gonna not be able to have a college education, it's still gonna be able to be paid for, or I'm not gonna not be able to get a good job, you know what I'm saying? So like, then I feel like when you come from money, you know that you're not necessarily gonna go without, whereas when you don't, you may not be able to have those future situations without driving and continuing in your sport. Yeah.
I feel like people from the higher class that like go far with their sport, like I really feel like they truly doing it for the love of the game. So like that's where I feel like that's where I feel like they have an upper hand with, like they could truly just play for the love of the game, where as though some people that are from the lower class are playing for reasons bigger than them. So.
For sure. All right, so for the next question, does social class affect your view on sports as a leisure activity or as a way to put yourself in a better financial situation?
Yes, that's basically going off what he just said.
Kind of going off what he said,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, we've already discussed this plenty of times, just the fact of, like, sports is a way to, you know, get your family, like, in a better situation, you and yourself, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, it depends on, like, your class, you know what I'm saying? Like, when, you know, and what bro said, like, people who actually don't have to, like, they're playing to sport just for the love of it. They don't have, like, you know what I'm saying? They don't have to, like, I need to be successful at this to be able to provide for myself and my family. They don't have to do that, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like they enjoy the game, enjoy the competitiveness a lot more, you know what I'm saying? Rather than somebody that does come from those underprivileged communities where that's like the only way out, you know what I'm saying? And like I guess that they say, like, you know, like, the football is your money, you know what I'm saying? Like, you drop the football, you drop your money. You know what I'm saying? I feel that's kind of where all that stuff comes from for us. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of looking at it like that, like, I need to make sure I'm providing for my family, like, but yeah.
I agree with everything you said, basically. Took the words out of my mouth. I know, like, for me, like I said before, like, football away and, like, Cleveland, it's a tool to get you to school. So, like, you could be the poorest of the poor, but we taught if you work hard and you got somewhat of a drive, you could change your element through football, try to earn a scholarship. So I kind of look at it in that way. If that makes sense.
I think that it definitely affects my view because I know that you guys ever heard the saying, like, business deals are made, like, on a golf course and stuff. Like, I think that it's viewed more kind of as a leisure activity in the upper class, upper middle class, because, I mean, they do have access to all, you know, the golf courses, the tennis courts and all that stuff. And I see that middle, lower, working class, like, you guys, we're using sport to put ourselves in the better financial situation than we've come from. So I definitely think that it affects my view on that.
Like, and I don't know, like, I feel like that also kind of plays a role into how passionate, how passionate Black people are, like, with sports. You know what I mean? Like I have the privilege to, you know, with everybody, you know what I'm saying? Like, I play basketball with white people, Black people, and I feel like whenever I do play with white people, it's more like, it feels more like a leisure thing. Like, bro, we're just doing this for fun. You know what I'm saying?
So for our next question, are social classes used to create barriers in sport?
I think so. Just off, because I know we had kids that wanted to do, like, at my school, we didn't have like a tennis team or a golf team or a hockey team. But like I said, I know kids that wanted to do them sports, but they was limited because our school didn't have it. So I feel like that created, like, we lost a kid that played football, but our school ain't had hockey, so he went to somewhere else that had hockey. So I feel like that was a creative barrier.
Like, I don't think that it purposely creates barriers. I think that because of the places that we're from, those barriers are kind of put up, maybe. Because I mean, like, I feel like anybody could play any sport, especially in this day and time. You know what I mean? Like, there are people that you know, play sports that, you know, we don't have at our school. Like, I don't have lacrosse at my school. I don't have tennis at my school. You know what I mean? Like, so I mean, I don't necessarily feel like it purposely creates barriers. I just feel like those barriers just are kind of already there just because of, like, where certain kids are from. Yeah, because I mean, like there are people that left my school, just like you said, I feel like there are people that left my school and went to, like, a suburb school, and, you know, they're playing lacrosse, playing hockey, you know, stuff like that, like things that, you know, we don't have at our school. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I wouldn't say sports are used to create barriers either, because, like, if anything, I feel like sports bring people together that wouldn't be brought together if it wasn't for sports. So I honestly feel like it does the opposite now. Are there barriers that are created naturally? Yes, but I don't think sports are used for that.
Yeah, for me, I think that, I don't necessarily think that the social class creates the barriers on purpose. I just think that the social classes are the barriers. So like you said, if you wanted to play hockey or tennis, or like my school, we didn't have those sports either, but we had the courts, like we had tennis courts, but you had to go outside to get on a tennis coach, or like to a club, a private club, to be able to practice on those tennis courts, or you had to go somewhere else to play hockey. We didn't even have hockey in my county. You had to go to the next county over to play hockey. So I just think that it doesn't, like you said, doesn't purposely create those, but social classes are the barrier. Yeah. So for our last question, what sport do you guys wish you would have been able to participate in given the proper circumstances?
Hockey.
Hockey?
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know, you know, like, I didn't really get exposed to like those type of sports growing up. Like, you know, I mean, the only time I ever heard of a black person playing something like lacrosse is when I came here, you know what I'm saying, and, you know, my boys playing lacrosse here, you know what I'm saying, like, they're black. So I'm like, you know, I'm like, lacrosse, like, you know, or like, you know, hockey, like my homie, he played hockey and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, so, but then, like, I realized that, like, when I go out there and, like, try to, you know, throw the ball with the little stick that they be using, or, like, you know what I'm saying, trying to, like, hit a puck in, I'm like, that's actually kind of fun. Like, I feel like I wouldn't have mind, like, playing this, you know what I'm saying, growing up, instead of just trying to be better at football or basketball or whatever, you know what I'm saying. I just feel like there are tons of other sports that you got that can be played, or that you can be passionate about. We just haven't really been exposed to those type of things. You know what I mean? Like, I probably would play baseball. You know, I probably would have did something like that. You know, because like if you come to school where it's like are you playing this basketball or football? You know what I'm saying? You get injured playing football. You know what I'm saying? You may think like, damn, like that's it. Like I can't play no sports no more. But then like there are tons of other like maybe non-contact sports or sports that are not really as gruesome as like playing football that you haven't really been exposed to. So in your head you're like, man, like my time of playing sports is over. And then like I said, I don't even think I ever touched a lacrosse stick until I came here. I'm like, okay, like that's kind of dope. Like man, I wish I had that opportunity in my school. You know what I'm saying? I wish there was a baseball team in my school. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
To be honest, probably I would say hockey, but I don't know how to skate. So I don't know. That's a good question, but I just feel like probably hockey. Maybe yeah. Probably.
I feel like I played the sports I wanted to play growing up. I only wanted to play football, basketball, and I wanted to play baseball for a little bit, and I played. So I mean, I wasn't really into all the other sports. Maybe when I was a kid, probably swimming. I probably would have wanted to do swimming. Yeah, but
for me, it was definitely tennis. Not just because like all the skill and athleticism it takes. Because like growing up, like individual sports wasn't really presented to me. Like when somebody said they were going to play sports, it's like it was just always assumed that you were playing a team sport. And I absolutely love playing a team sport, like don't get me wrong, but I just think that it would be interesting to see the process that they go through being an individual with no team and just you and your coaches, and you're the only one at practice, you're the only one training, you're the only one performing in the game. Yeah. So I just think that whole process would be intriguing to see, for sure.
Yeah, and I feel like also like, you know, when kids come out of high school, they're trying to figure out like, you know, where do they want to go, like, you know what I mean, like. And I feel like I feel that they should put more programs in schools that kind of show you a wide variety of things that you can do. You know what I'm saying? Like I learned how to play chess from high school. You know what I'm saying? And like now I'm like, okay, like I wouldn't mind playing little chess tournaments and stuff. A lot of people wouldn't think about that. So I feel like it's always good. I feel like schools should prioritize those sort of programs. Like I heard like people had cooking class in their high school, and like woodworking and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, whoa, like
we had like a car building class.
what?
in high school, yeah.
I'm like, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like something, you know what I'm saying? Something like, and like now, now, of course, like everything is a business now. You know what I mean? It's like high schools are bigger. Like I think like when I moved out to Dallas last year, like I'm seeing these bigger high schools. Like I'm like, whoa, like what type of stuff y'all got up in there? And like how much they actually care about not only just the football aspect of just like, but like trying to get those kids into like every type of thing that they can be. You know what I'm saying? Of course, because when you're in Texas, it's like everybody wants to, especially football, but they want you to kind of be like usually people from Texas and stuff. They kind of good at sports. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, I just feel like they should probably put a lot more organizations or a lot more like clubs and stuff. Yeah.
All right, well, that was our last question. Thank you all for joining us on Beyond the Lights, and we'll see you all next time.